There's a time that President Deng Xiaoping came to Harare, Zimbabwe, and he met our president. And I think by that time, his interpreter was Professor Weiwei, who is now the chancellor of Fudan University. So I think that highlights how the bond and the relationship of Zimbabwe and China has really been strong. And also not to forget mentioning that if you look at the relationship of Zimbabwe and China, you really realize that there are so many threads that are woven into our history. I'll give you an example. Zimbabwe, during liberation struggle, we had two major guerrilla warfares. The other one was under ZANU and the other one was under ZAPU. ZAPU being led by the former late Vice President Joshua Nkabuku Nkomo, and then the other one, which was ZANU, being led by Robert Mugabe. So they had military wings, and one of the military wings, which was known as ZANLA, the likes of Comrade Josiah Tongogara, who was the Major General of Army during the liberation struggle, the likes of Rex Nongo, Obami Juru, they were trained in China. They went to Tanzania with the advocacy of Julius Mwalimu Nyerere back there in Butiama. He made sure he championed for the Zimbabwean guerrilla warfare to be trained, and they were trained in China. And interestingly, our current president, His Excellency President Emmerson Mnangagwa, was trained in China. During the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, after his incarceration, he was then sent to Tanzania, and then from Tanzania he was sent to Nanjing Military Academy, and that's where he trained. And interestingly, I think this year is one of the few African leaders who were invited to come and participate in the military parade that just finished a couple of weeks, I think 2 weeks ago, less than a week ago. So you can then tell the history that the man who's now sitting at the apex of the Zimbabwean government as the head of state or the first citizen was trained in China. He was given political ideology in China, and he himself confesses that he learned a lot from the Chinese government and from the Chinese people. So that shows you how our relationship as a country is deeply embedded in the Chinese culture.